This meeting is being recorded.
Good evening, everyone. It is now 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock on the dot. Several people texted me and said they might be a couple minutes late. I don't mind people chiming in late. Some knowledge is better than no knowledge, right?
Are the classes an hour long?
Officially, it's from 6 to 7. But I'm kind of long-winded at times, so sometimes they're going a little long.
For myself. Okay.
So, anybody had any questions? Lakeisha and Layla, I seen y'all both on Schoology doing a lot of work. Is there any questions or anything you want me to answer here while we're in class to go over?
Yeah, I was having problems with the percents.
Okay.
And I took the test twice. I try to do a review and then try to, get another test and, try it again. But I seem to had got the same score. But the problems that I got wrong on the first test, some of them I got right on the second one.
Okay.
So I don't need to know what I'm going wrong at.
All right, so let's look at some of those real quick. Let me share my screen. And let's look at some. Hold on. Let's look at I need to look at the questions here. Let's preview. Let me put this on. And again, this is once you sign up for the ebook, this is like a preview. Is this the test you're talking about here?
Yes.
Okay, so first of all, the reason why I made this first question is to make sure you know how to change a fraction to a decimal equivalent. And the reason why, if you know your decimal equivalents and you're able to use the calculator, anytime they give you fractions on the exam, if you convert them to a decimal, then you can quickly use your calculator. So I wanted to make sure you know how to change a percent to a decimal. Does anybody know how to change a percent to a decimal?
It would be F, right?
It would be what?
Is it F?
No. F for the first one, F. Yes, it is F.
Yes, okay.
Okay, so remember, percent, understand the word. Per is out of, cent means 100. So out of 100. So 85% is 85 over 100. Well, remember, this means division. So 85 out of 100 or 85% means 85 divided by 100. If you understand your powers of 10, you understand that, okay, since I'm dividing by 100, I have 2 zeros. That means I'm moving my decimal 2 places to the left. That's easy. To change any percent to a decimal, you just move your decimal 2 places to the left. So if you see a percent sign at the end of a number, to change it to a decimal, you move it 2 places to the left. So 50% in this example, you said was F, which is right, 50%. So remember, this is where people get confused though. Every whole number has a percent. It's at the end of the whole numbers right there. So when you move it 2 places to the left, 1, 2, that's 0.50. Well, 0.50 is the same as 0.5. So here, I would expect you to put F. Each of these, I should expect I want you to be able to do something like this. It should be about 20 seconds. You should be able to go, okay, 33%, 0.33, G. 20%, 0.20 or 0.2, I.
And you can really just look at them and see that the number is what it already is. So
exactly.
Number 10 is automatically H because you can already see the number there, right?
That's true also. Yep, but you're just moving your decimal. That's how I want you to do those type of problems. Okay, let me save that. Where's my annotation? Save it. PDF, save it. Now, okay, let's look at the next question. A new TV costs $245. There's 5% sales tax. How much is the sales tax? What is the total cost? Okay, so it's 2 questions here. So first of all, how would you do this problem? Did anybody know?
We do 245 times 5%, and that's going to give you what the tax is. And then you would plus the tax to the 245, and that would give you your final number. Now,
and I'm going to show you a nice quick trick. Now, I asked you 2 questions here. Most of the times on the GED, they only going to ask you one. What is the total cost? But I just wanted to ask both questions because I want you to be ready for any type of question they can give you with percent. And they're going to give you 1 or 2. They always give you 1 or 2% problems. So now there's a whole lot on the exam, no 1 or 2, but you should be ready for them. But I want to show you something real quick. Like Brandy said, let's look at the calculator. We want to use our calculator. It's very easy. So let me clear everything out. 245 times 5. Now, what happens is she said multiply by 5%. With the calculator, you can actually put just 5%. You don't even have to change it to a decimal. Because in class, they tell you to change 5% to a decimal, 0.05, then multiply, right? But using the calculator, you can put the percent in. So we know the discount or the sales tax is $12.25. So we would answer that question as $12.25. And then the sales tax get added or subtracted from the amount of the TV?
Added.
Added. So now with the calculator, we hit the addition sign and then just do 245. And now you have your answer. Now I'm gonna show you a much quicker way. Does somebody have a question?
Mr. Tinsley, you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Okay. So that's how you would find that. Now, let me show you something. And this is a small trick that I want you to understand. First of all, identify the percent, which is 5%, correct? Understand that 5% is 0.05. Okay, so 5% is the same as 0.05. Okay, well, if it's added on to the full price, 100% plus 5% is 1 plus 0.05. So watch this. So now I'm able to do this in one step if I wanted to find the total price. Watch this. 245 times, now I can use the percentage, 105%. One step now. Or you can say 245 times 1.05. One step. If it was a discount, you would subtract it away from 100%. So if it was 30% discount, then you would multiply the total times 0.7 or 70%. That's a quick way. Latasha, I didn't get 245 when you added it. Oh, no, 245 was the original price. So remember, it said new TV costs 245. So that's why I got the 245 from. Okay. All right. Now, this next step here, this is something I do in my class. Okay. And the reason why is you should be able to find 10% of any number at any time. And this is the reason why. Watch this. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to say 10% of 80. Okay. Well, if you understand what 10% is 10% is 10 out of 100. 10 out of 100 is the same as 1 over 10. So anytime you want to find 10% of a number, you're just dividing by 10. Now, just like powers of 10, dividing by 10 is just moving the decimal one place to the left. So to find 10% of any number, you just move the decimal one place to the left. So who said 10% of 80 was 8? Who said that?
Me, Keisha.
Lakeisha. So you're 100% right. 10% of 80 is 8. But this is why I want the mental math so you to understand it. Watch this. If I know 10% is 8, 20% is just double that, which is 16. 30% is 3 times as big. 8 times 3 is 24. 15% is 8, right? But what's 5%? 5% is 4. So 15% will be 5% and 10%, which is 8 and 4, which will make 12. That way, that mental math comes into place. Most of the time on the GED, they ask you either about tips or taxes or some type of discount. It's pretty straightforward with the percent problems. Okay, so you should be able to do those problems fairly quickly. All right, so let's look at this right here. Maritza went out to eat with 2 of her friends. The bill came to $28. They paid an additional 8% tax and left a 20% tip. What was the total cost of the meal? So I'm gonna give you each about a minute and a half. And I want you to send me your answer in the chat. You can use your calculator, you can use pencil and paper, you can use any means that you want to give me the total cost of the meal.
How do I put it in? How do I get it to you?
At the bottom of the chat, at the bottom of your toggle bar, you'll see the word chat. So when you at the bottom, if you're on your phone, you go hit the more button and you'll see chat. And then you select my name and then put your answer in.
I hope I'm doing this right. So let me just put it in and see if it gets to.
Okay, I got your answer, Brandy. Lakeisha, you actually sent your answer to everybody.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Okay, I don't know.
So make sure we look at it. What was the total cost of the meal? So we know that possibly cannot be an answer because we know the final bill was $28. So we know the bill has to be more than $28 because we got tax and a tip. So make sure we understand what type of answer we expect. We want the total cost of the meal. And again, I am timing you. I didn't set my timer because I left both of my phones. No, I didn't. Here we go. Let me set that timer. Destiny, okay, I have your answer. Now, remember, if the total bill is $28, could that be the total cost of the meal or the total cost of the entire bill? Could that be a possible answer? So you have to do one last step in order to get your answer. And let's see. We got about a minute left. No problem. And then again, I like to use the calculator. So I'm gonna show you a nice, easy way to do this problem.
I'm using my phone calculator because I definitely need a refresh on this one.
Okay. Yeah. So I want make sure every time you come to this session, have your or one-on-ones, make sure you have that TI-30XS calculator.
I have it right here. I just forget like where the percent sign is on it.
It's right above the 8 and 9. So if you see the percent sign is right above the 8, and since it's in green, you have to use the second function.
Okay, okay.
We have a lot of first timers here tonight. Make sure you leave your email in the chat. Okay, so we have, now this is funny. I'm going to tell you something. Not one answer has been the same. I haven't got one answer that is the same. So time is up. Let's make sure we go over this problem. Okay, so let's look at this here. So if we were doing this by hand, how would we find the bill plus the tax? What would we do?
Will we times it to 28 and put the percent of the decimal?
Okay, and what's 8% as a decimal?
0.8.
Not 0.8.
Hold on, let me look real quick. 0.08.
Right, 0.08. Now, if we're doing this by hand, 8 times 8 is 64, carry is 6, 8 times 2 is 16, plus 6 is 22. We didn't have to move our decimal 2 places, so our tax is $2.24. Everybody understand that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, again, to get our tip. Now, see, this is the type of question I actually wrote GED about questions like this, because the question is the 20, when you go to the restaurant, you pay your 20% on after you get your tax. Okay, so that's what we're going to assume. So we're going to take that 20% and we have to add that $28 to this 224, right? 28 plus 224. Okay, so we get 30.24. So that's our total after tax. And then we want to multiply this by 20%. Now, again, how do we find 10%? We move the decimal 1 place. So 10% will be 3.024. Since we're talking about money, this is to do 302. And 20% will be
648.
double that, or 6.048, right? And then if we want to, again, round that off, $6.05, right? Again, we have to take that 605 and add that to the $30. 30.24 plus 6.05. And we got 36.29. Right? That's now, if you notice, that took us about, me doing the problem with you, just took about 1 minute and 38 seconds, almost 2 minutes, right? Okay, that's how you do it by hand, that's fine. But you have to understand the steps. So again, what I want you to do, again, I want you to use this calculator as much as you can. So let me clear this.
Round up, and because
Say that again.
Are you supposed to round up? Because I thought it was 36.72. So somewhere my math is off.
Right. So watch this. We're going to use a calculator. Watch this. So watch this. 28 times. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the tax already. So 100% and 8% is 108%. So I'm going to multiply by 1.08. So I don't even have to do the calculation, because the calculator will do the work for me. And now I have my total, and now I want to take 20% of that. So what I'm going to now, I'm going to take that answer and multiply that by 1.2. Two steps, and I get my answer of 36.29. Instead of a 1.5 minute to 2 minute problem, understanding that 8% is added to the total. So that 100% plus the 8% is 108%. 108% is the same as 1.08. So this is the first calculation I did, 28 times 1.08. The next thing I need you to understand is, once you have an answer in this calculator, it's in memory. So it remembers that 30.24. So now I just take that 30.24, because now we got the tip. 100% of the original total plus 20% is 120%, which is the same as 1.20, which is the same as 1.2. We don't need the 0 at the end. So all I did was take my previous answer and multiply it by 1.2. So now that 2 minute problem now became a 15-second problem. Okay, so let me save that.
I'm
and that's
still
what
lost.
Where'd you get lost at?
Okay, because technically, if the way that I would do this problem, which you're the teacher, I'm just telling you that my little mind works, is I would take the, I can't see because your calculator's over it, but thank you, sir. I would take the $28. I would add the 8% tip.
Right.
So
we did that.
That would be 28 times 8% would be 224. So I would add 224 to the $28.
So, and when you add that 224 to the $28, what do you get?
I get 30.24.
So, you know, that's the 30.24 right there.
So then if I take 30.24 times 20%,
right?
Times, that is, so 34 or 30.24, sorry, 30.24 times 20% would be $6.48.
Okay, add that 648.
So I would do $30.24 plus 6.48, and I come up with 36.72.
So this look what you did. So look what you said. So let's clear it out.
Okay.
Let me clear everything out the calculator so we can see it. So we'll do what we want to do exactly where you said it. So we took $28 and you multiplied it by 0.08. You got 224. You added that to the $28. You got 30.24. You then multiplied that times 0.2. Right? You then added the 30.24. So I don't know where you went wrong, but you still get the same 36.29. You still get the 36.29.
I was getting 36.72.
No, 36.28 we got 288, and we rounded off to 36.29.
I don't know.
So what I'm trying to show you is this: instead of doing all those steps, understand that 5%, 8% tax is added on to 100% of the bill. So that's 108%. So if you take that $28 and multiply by 1.08, now you only have one step. So now that's that 30/24. And then you want to add a 20% gratuity. So again, 100% plus 20% is 1.20. So we're going to multiply that same amount times 1.2. And that way, in 2 steps, what happens is, see, usually when you learn this, you're 100% right. You're 100% right. In class, that's how they teach you. Take the percentage first, then add it or subtract it from the total. But if you're using a calculator, if you know it's added on, it now becomes 2 steps and becomes much easier. And you're only going to have 1 or 2 problems like that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now, I think, let me go back here. Area, Natasha had a problem with questions like area. So these are all the things you can do in this percent problem. They give you a whole bunch of examples. I got more practice in here, but you know, this is the things that you can actually work on in the Schoology site. Okay. So Natasha asked about area problems. Let's see. Let's find some area problems. Let's see. Let me find it real quick. And I have a bunch of them. I had somebody just working on an area problem too. Is Darlene here this evening? Did I see Darlene come in? I believe, yes, Darlene. You were working on area and perimeter, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember. Like a bunch of people were working on the site this week. Let's look at some problems. Let's look at some problems now. Okay. So let's look at this problem. Let's see if I can increase this. You will have an area and perimeter problem, almost guaranteed, especially for a rectangle. So again, you must be ready for area and perimeter of a rectangle almost on every GED. Joe has a rectangular herb garden that is 8 feet long and 10 feet wide. What length of fencing does he need to fence in his entire garden? So the first question I want everyone to answer in the chat, is this an area or a perimeter problem? I want you to send me in the chat, is this an area or a perimeter problem? Because first we got to identify what type of problem it is. Is this an area or perimeter problem?
Read it.
And put it in the chat. Send me your answer in the chat. Is it area or perimeter? Or if you don't know, put IDK. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so Latasha, that's incorrect. Brandy, that's correct. Layla, that is correct. Okay, so everybody didn't answer, but we're going, okay, Wendy, that is correct. So how do we know if this is area or perimeter? How do we know? Like what words in this question will give us a clue whether this is area or perimeter? Somebody please help me, because sometimes I have problems with this. Fencing. And what does fencing do?
You go around.
Fencing goes around. Perfect. That's the word I'm looking for. And that's how you know, because what is perimeter? The distance around. So 8 feet long, 8 and 10. We know a rectangle. Go to our rules. Opposite sides are equal, 8 and 10. Or how I usually tell my students is add these two together and then multiply by 2. So 18 times 2 is 36, or you could add each one of them up. So again, distance around, you can either do 8 plus 8 plus 10 plus 10, which is 16 plus 20, which is 36. Or you could add these two together and multiply by 2. So 8 plus 10 times 2 is also equal to 36. Definitely going to have an area and perimeter problem. Okay, so that answer. Now, let me explain something to you. The second thing I want you to be able to do. Say, for example, you didn't know, you couldn't remember which one to use. This is one thing you should know, though. Look at the answers. A and D are in feet. B and C are in square feet. Remember, area is always square feet, square centimeters, square. So even if you didn't know how to do the perimeter, we know that area is in square something. So right away, we can get rid of both of those. So now at least you have a 50% chance to get that answer right. Okay, and you could probably figure out that if both of these sides are 18, there's no way the perimeter can be 18. Okay, that's another way you can do that. So let's check that answer. We said it was 36. Let me clear it. Answer 36. Let's go to the next question. Let me try to find an area problem. Hopefully the next one is an area. Let's see. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Find the area of a triangle with a base of 10 and a height of 7. And then send me your answer in the chat. Find the area of a triangle with a base of 10 and a height of 7. Let me see.
These type of questions, they'll have the shape of the triangle or cylinder or something like that, though.
Mm-hmm. And I haven't really seen area problems of a triangle recently in the last couple of years. If you're taking that, there was definitely on the test and definitely was on the high set, but I still want you to be prepared for area of a triangle. Find the area of a triangle with a base of 10 and a height of 7. And send me your answer in the chat. Okay, Layla, that is correct. Wendy, that is correct. Got a nice little crowd tonight. 3, 6, 9, 12. Okay. Okay, so Layla and Wendy, you're both correct. Now, Wendy, you sent your answer to everyone. Make sure you send the answer just to me. We don't want anybody getting off easy. A, B, C, or D. The area of a triangle with base of 10 and a height of 7.
So 7.
I'm gonna add a minute. That was a 2-minute mark. So this is the last minute. I give everybody 3 minutes.
I forgot how to do these.
Okay, no problem at all. No problem at all. And this is what I want you to do. You identify what you know, and we're going to use our formula sheet. You don't have to remember anything. I don't want you remembering anything. I want you knowing. It's important. Time is up. Only 2 people answered. Those 2 people that answered both got it correctly. First of all, identify what we know. What do we know from this question? What are we looking for?
The area.
Area of what?
The triangle.
Area of a triangle. What else do we know?
The base is 10 and
the base is 10 and the height is 7. So we identify what we know first. Now, pull out your formula sheet. What is the formula to find the area of a triangle?
A equal half base height.
1/2 times base times height. So if we substitute it in, area equal 1/2. What's the base?
10.
10. What's the height?
7.
7. Okay. Now we're gonna do it all the way by hand, and I'm doing the calculator. What's half of 10?
5.
5 times 7. What's 5 times 7?
35.
35. And all area problems are square inches. Okay, so that's considered an easy problem. Why? It's because you don't have to manipulate anything. They gave you the base and height. All you had to do was plug it in. Now, if you understand, so first of all, let me clear the work first. And I'm going to clear all this out the way. And I'm going to put the calculator on the screen. Because what I want you to understand is you do not have to remember everything. The first thing is identify what you know and what's given. So we identified the base and the height. So we know the formula from the formula sheet is 1/2 base times height. Well, guess what? You can put it in exactly the way you see it. ND, 1/2. Use parentheses for multiplication. 15 seconds. So one of the things on my website, one of the things on my with the flashcards that I have on my website is that you have flashcards for the formulas. Now, do you have to remember them? You don't, but you have to know how to use them. So the 3 things that we identified, the area of a triangle, the base and the height, all we did was plug them in. That's considered an easy problem on the GED because you don't have to manipulate anything. Okay. So make sure we know how to do problems such as that. Let's try another one. Because only 2 people answered that question. So let's go. We said 35. And it's the same thing. This site is free. You can use as much as you want. Let's look at this. Now, this is one of these word problems.
The site is called Schoolology.
So I'll send you the access to how to get access to this.
Okay.
Let's look at this problem. And again, I want you to send the answer in the chat. Tiffany is making a display board for the school play. The display board is 9 feet by 9 feet rectangle. Actually, 9 feet by 9 feet is a square, but we'll say 9 by 9. If a ribbon costs $1 per foot, how much will it cost to add a ribbon border around the entire display board? First of all, you have to figure out whether this is area or perimeter, and then you have to pick the appropriate answer. Again, I'm gonna set the timer for 2 minutes.
I still can't get my stuff to you. Mine has chat, meeting settings, minimize, and background and filter. So which one do I?
You said you see chat?
Yes.
Okay, click on chat.
Okay.
And it says 2. You can change that to my name.
I don't see 2 on here. I see chat.
Tell me what you see when you put chat. Let me see. Let me log on my phone.
As Perry, Wendy, Katie, Green to everyone or something.
Right. So instead of Wendy, you're gonna hit that to me. You're gonna change that to my name.
How do I do it?
You want to chat with me? It should be a drop down arrow.
And then it'll pop up all the names.
Correct. Let's see. Layla, you are correct.
I don't see no drop down area.
No, Layla, you are incorrect.
It won't give you a
drop
down.
You are correct.
It'll everyone's name up.
Mm-hmm.
No, when I press where it say Wendy Cato, it don't do nothing. It just has a close and chat. Oh, hold on. I see it. Wait a minute. Oh, I got it.
Good.
I hope let me see if I'm right. Did you get that, Mr. Tinsley?
Yes, I did. And you are correct. You are correct.
I think
Layla, you are now correct. Wendy, you are incorrect. So let's see. Let me stop that. That was 2 minutes. Latasha, Lakeisha, and Layla, and Brandy, that is incorrect. Okay, so let's look at this problem. Again, so this is what happens. Word problems, it feel like somebody's, putting something over the top of your head and spinning you around, and you get all confused. What I want you to do when you see a word problem, I don't want you to get intimidated. What I want you to say is this. What do I know? Okay, what is given? What did they give me?
So we know 9 by 9 is 81.
No. I didn't ask you to do any computation. What is given?
Rectangle.
The display board is 9 by 9 rectangle. What else do they give you?
Cost. The cost of ribbon is $1 per foot.
It's dollar per foot. And what's the last thing around? What's the last thing?
Around the border.
Around. Ribbon board around.
When it says ribbon around, is that area or perimeter?
Perimeter.
Perimeter. So
That's why I
now
had to read again.
Now you can go to your formula sheet because your formula sheet says P equal 2L plus 2W. Draw your rectangle. 9, 9, 9, 9. So if we do the perimeter, again,
Oh,
you
36.
can either add them up or you can plug them into this
I was doing it as a triangle, not a rectangle. I'm sorry.
So we get 36. If you add them all up, you also get 36. So that's 36. So that's one part of information that we need. The perimeter is 36 feet. But now it tells us it's $1 per foot. So we have to multiply. And that's where we get the $36, which is A.
Yes.
So this question is indicative of a question you might see.
So it's not asking you for both answers. It really is just asking you about how much the ribbon is.
Right, exactly. But you have to find the perimeter in order to calculate how much ribbon is needed to know how much it's going to cost.
Okay.
Okay. So let me clear that. And we said it was $36. Let me select 36. Let's click next. And let's try one more. And then I'll ask anybody else. This. Oh, I love this already. I'm going to give you 2 minutes for this one. And this is the last one we're going to do for area and perimeter. Again, it's about 10 questions or 15 questions on area and perimeter. They have all different types of questions to get you ready. It's an unlimited amount of times you can take each one. So use it. The back lawn is shaped like a parallelogram. The base is 36 feet and the height is 31 feet. What is the square footage? Wow. Wow. Oh my goodness. That gave me a headache already, right? Take your time. The back lawn is shaped like a parallelogram. The base is 36 feet and the height is 31 feet. What is the square footage? Okay, let's see. I don't actually know what the answer is, but let me do it in my head real quick. Okay, let's see. Latasha, that's correct. Layla, that's correct. Brandy, that is correct. So we got three. That's 3. Latasha, that's correct. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Lakeisha, that is correct. I'm loving it. We got about 45 seconds left, and then I'm gonna go over it. So the more you practice, the more, especially when you now recently I heard somebody had a parallelogram problem, but it's very rare. But you should be familiar with area of a triangle, area of a rectangle, area of a square, area of a triangle, and area of a parallelogram. Now, I haven't seen trapezoid in a long time. If you're taking highest of the task, they love trapezoid. Okay, but be ready to be able to do the area. But remember, all of it is identifying what's given, plugging into your formula. Okay, time is about up. Okay, what's important in this question?
The base and the height.
The base and height. What else?
And what is the square footage?
And what else?
The lawn is shaped like a parallelogram.
Parallelogram. And why that's the most important thing, because that's where we get our formula from our formula sheet. If somebody can look on a formula sheet, how do you find the area of a parallelogram?
It says base and height.
I'm thinking of a triangle, base times height. Now, this is one thing I want to explain to you real quick. I'm going to show you something, and it's going to blow your mind. What shape is that? That I just drew. It's a rectangle, right? Okay. So when we learn how to rectangle, we learn length and width, right? But guess what? We can use any variable we want, correct? Watch this. I'm going to call this base, and I'm going to call this height. How do you find the area of a rectangle now? Base times height, right? Perfect. I love it, right? If I draw a diagonal straight through and I want to know the area of this triangle, what portion of this triangle is this rectangle? It's only what?
The height.
It's no, what portion? It's what?
A
fraction. Right, a half. So now, so look at this. Area of a rectangle is length times width, which could be thought of as base times height, right? A triangle is 1/2 base times height. Why? Because it's half of a rectangle. Every triangle is a half of a rectangle, right? Now watch this. A parallelogram is just a rectangle shifted, where this is your height and this is your base. So now you don't have to remember S squared for a square, L and W time for a rectangle, and B and H for a trapezoid and a triangle. You can use base and height for everything. The base is the base of this object. The height is how tall it is. That easy. So now when we look at this and when we use our formula now, area equal base times height, all we doing is substituting. And again, to me, I would always use my calculator. Always. That way you know you're not making a mistake. Watch this. Let me clear it out. And it was 36 by 31, correct?
Yeah.
So 36 times 31. 1116. And that's knowing your formulas from the formula sheet and just plugging them in. So that's what I want to impart on you tonight. If you're talking about volume, if you're talking about area, if you're talking about perimeter, if you're talking about surface area, listen, be able to identify the shape and then plug into your formula. And you'll get most of those problems correct. All right, so now let's see, I had one more earlier. Let's see, it was a slope problem, I think it was. Yes, it was a slope problem. Now, this is what I had. Some people had some issues with linear equations. I got many questions this week. So I'm gonna try to answer the questions in one question. So let's look at this graph here. Okay. So what we're gonna do from this graph is we're gonna find the slope. I don't like this problem. No, we're not gonna use that one. We're not gonna use that one either. Let me find another one. Hopefully they have another one. Come on. There we go. Let's look at number 30. Can everybody see number 30? Let me make it a little bigger. Can everybody see number 30?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so what they might ask is they might ask you, what's the slope of this line? They might ask you, what's the equation of this line? They might ask you. So for example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 4 equations, 4 multiple choice answers on this. I don't like that one either.
Come on, Mr. Tinsley.
I don't like that one either. I want something a little bit more difficult.
No, we need easy.
We're gonna try 31. We're gonna look at 31. Yeah, that's perfect. 41. So I'm gonna put 4 multiple choices up here, and I want you to tell me what answer or what equation that you think it is. Okay. So y equal, let's see. Oh, this one, I don't like this one either.
Dude.
All right, I gotta find another one. I'm sorry. I apologize. Let me find another one. I apologize. Cause I don't want them too easy. There we go. There. Okay. There we go. That one right there. I like that. Okay. Look at this one. Yeah, this one. I'm sure in that. Let me make sure. Perfect. So I'm gonna put 4 multiple choice up here. Okay. And I want you to send me the answer in the chat. What equation would signify is identified by this graph? What equation, A, B, C, or D, is this graph here? Ooh, hold on. I forgot to put a minus right there. Here we go. And I'm gonna put one more. I'm gonna put 5 of them. I'm gonna put 5 answers, A, B, C, D, or E. Okay, somebody already checked in with one. Let's see. Let's see if they are correct. Let's see. Let's see. Latasha, that is incorrect. You so close, so close, so close. But that's why I made them all really close together. Brandy, that is correct. That is correct.
I'm not as dumb as I thought, I guess.
Okay.
I'm just...
Latasha tried again. She said, if fail once, try and try again. But guess what? That is also incorrect. And Brandy, I'm sorry, that is incorrect. That is incorrect. I'm sorry, that is incorrect.
Okay.
I'm sorry, that is incorrect. When sometimes the chat goes down and I see the name, then the answer. Okay, let's see. Wendy, that is incorrect.
Oh no.
So thank the new gentleman to the room this evening. He actually sent me a problem where he sent the graph. He wanted to make sure he knew how to find the slope. So we're gonna go one step further and we want to find the equation of the line. Latasha, you are now correct. Sir, you are also correct. Okay, looking good, looking good. Wendy, you are now correct. That's what I'm talking about. 3 in a row. I love it. I'm playing. About 45 seconds left. Now, again, this problem should take you about 2 minutes at the most. These types of problems. So we're waiting for, let's see, Lakeisha. That is incorrect.
I was struggling with these earlier.
Yeah, but I sent you that text back, right?
Yeah, I said, wow, this I thought it was more easier than it is. You just gotta
work at it. And once you know how to do it, it's fine. Brandy, you are now correct.
Okay.
And ladies,
I haven't done any of this in months, so I'm very rusty.
Okay, time is up. Okay, so first of all, remember, what I want you to be able to do first is identify whether the slope of this graph is positive or negative. Is the slope of this graph positive or negative? Can anybody tell me?
Positive.
How do you know it's positive?
From left to right, it's going up.
Exactly. So that's the first thing you want to do. From left to right, which way is it going? It's going up. It's positive. Now, because you know the slope is positive, what multiple choice can we get rid of?
Negatives.
We A.
A. And what else?
C.
And C. So right away, by just identifying whether it's positive or negative, we got rid of 2 of the multiple choice. That's why I added 1 more multiple choice. That's the first thing. The second thing we want to do, what is the y-intercept? What is the y-intercept?
Positive 2.
Positive 2. So where the line crosses the y-axis is the y-intercept. So our y-intercept is +2. From that, what multiple choice can we get rid of?
B.
Correct, E. Because E has a y-intercept of -2. So now we left with B and D. So now we got to find the slope. So we're going to use this point here, and we're going to use this point. And how do we find the slope from a graph?
Rise over run.
Rise over run. Which way is rise?
Going up.
Up or? It's up or down. So if you're going down, it's negative, but if you're going up, it's positive. So we're gonna go up. Count with me.
1, 2.
2. So we know our rise is what?
2.
2.
Okay, so now we got to find our run. Okay, let me grab my arrow again. And our run is, which way are we going? We're going left or right?
Right.
Right. Count with me.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. Our run is 3. So what's our slope?
2 over 3.
2 over 3. So we know our slope is 2/3. We know our y-intercept is +2. What's our equation of the line?
Y equals
what?
Max plus B.
2/3 x plus what?
2.
Plus
Positive.
2.
Yeah.
Positive 2. There we go. So our answer is D. That's how I want you to approach these problems on the GED exam. They're going to give you a set of graphs, A, B, C, and D. The first thing I want you to identify is the slope, positive or negative.
Mm.
Then what's the y-intercept? Most of the time, that'll get rid of all 3 multiple choice, and you only got 1 left, just by doing those 2 things. Okay, so let's try one more. So the reason why I didn't choose those other ones, because they was like 1. The slope was 1 on all of them. I don't want a slope of 1. Okay, let's look at this one here. That's a slope of 1. Why do they keep giving me slopes of 1? See, okay, let's try this one. Okay, now, the 3 things I want now, I'm gonna change it. First of all, I want to know if the slope of this line is positive or negative. I want to know the y-intercept. I want to know the slope. And then I want the equation of the line. Mr. Tizzy, they don't ask us all that. You're right. But they might ask you the slope. They might ask you the equation line. So I want you to be prepared no matter what they give you. So I want you to identify whether this is positive or negative. What's the y-intercept? What's the slope? And what's the equation of the line? Now, only thing I want you to send me in the chat, though, is the equation of the line, because I can see all that information. Now, of course, I want it in slope-intercept form. So I want you to send it to me. And what is slope-intercept form? Can anybody tell me?
Y equals mx plus b.
Y equals mx plus b. So when you send me your answer, I want you to send me the equation of the line. But when you're doing this, I want you to say, is the slope positive or negative? What's the y-intercept? What's the slope? And then find me the equation line. And I want you to send me the equation of the line in the chat. Wendy, did you understand that? Wendy, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yes.
Okay.
So positive or negative, what's the y-intercept, what's the slope, and what's the equation of the line? And then it was one more question. That question. Okay. Yes, Wendy. Wendy, if you go into my Schoology site under linear equations, I have a bunch of these, and I'll show you before we leave. I have a bunch of these where you can just find the slope. If you want the equation of the line, I have yeah.
All right, thank you, sir.
You're so welcome. Okay, I gave 3 minutes on this one. You got about 2 minutes left. Darlene, is that a minus sign before that? Or was that because you okay? And it's something you're missing. It's one thing you're missing. Remember, y equal mx plus b. You're missing something. You see what you're missing, Darlene?
I think I got it.
And as I look at most people's practice tests, this is the area most people have issues with. Okay. That is incorrect. Darlene, you are now correct. You are now correct. Brandy, that's incorrect.
Okay.
I see where you were going. You're kind of on the right path. But let's make sure we iron out step by step how we can figure this out.
Correct.
And again, most of my problems I set for 3 minutes. You are so close, sir. You are so close.
I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Darn it.
Yeah. You're so close. And this is why, because this is that attention to detail. And this is what we're gonna get over. So when you take your test, you're not struggling when you take your test, you're gonna think it's easy. But oh, I got this. So let's look at it. We got about 10 seconds left. 5 seconds left. I'm sorry. Let me stop it. Okay, so let's go over it. Is the slope positive or negative?
Positive.
Okay, I heard two people say positive. Is it positive or negative? How do we know?
Negative.
It's negative. How do we know it's negative?
Because it's going down.
Because it's going up on the other side.
Not up. So from
Going
left
down.
to right. So if you start on the leftmost point, the left
It's
to
going
right, which
down.
way are we going? It's going
Down.
down. So that way we know it's what?
Negative.
That's
know
why
it's
I messed
negative.
up at. Mr. Tinsley, I ain't put my negative sign.
Okay. So negative. What's my y-intercept? Where does the line cross the y-axis?
3.
Right there at 3.
Right there, +3. So our y-intercept is +3.
I forgot the plus.
So we have our y-intercept. So by using our y-intercept, we have our first point. What other point can we use here? What other point can we use? 2. I don't know what the point 2 is. 2-0. Very important. Every point on a coordinate plane must be an ordered pair. So even though we say y-intercept is +3, this is what I want to make sure you understand. The 3, this is how you describe it. Either you say 3 on the y-axis, or you give it the ordered pair, 0, 3. So this point is 2, 0.
2, 0. Yeah.
Now, how do we find the slope?
You count. You start with the point 3.
Okay, so we start with the y-intercept. Which direction are we going?
Right.
Yeah.
Nope. That's where you made your mistakes. What does the formula say to find the slope from a graph? Rise over run. So we're going to do rise first. We're going down. Count with me.
Darn it. 1, 2, 3.
So what is our rise? Is it a +3 or -3?
Negative.
Positive.
Okay, I heard a positive, I heard a negative. Why is it negative?
Because the slope is negative.
Because it's on.
Nope. Because what direction are we going?
Oh yeah, it's going down. Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
going
Going
down.
down.
If we were going up, the rise would be positive. If we're going down, the rise is negative. So the rise is -3. Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
Now we got to do our run. Which direction are we going for the run?
Over.
Right.
To the
Over what direction? Left or right?
To the right.
To right. Count with me.
1 and 2.
2. What kind of 2 is it?
Positive.
+2. So our slope is going to be what?
3. -3.
-3 what?
Over 2.
-3 over 2. So our y-intercept is +3. What is going to be our equation of the line?
Negative. I think -3 over 2 plus 3.
Nope. Every equation line must start with what? Slope-intercept form must start with what?
Y equal.
Y equal
Oh, what?
-3 over 2 times what?
X.
X. X, because you got to have an X. Y equal mx plus b. So all we did was take this slope, which is 3/2, and plug it in right there. So -3/2 x. And then what's our y-intercept?
3.
+3.
Yeah.
So our equation of the line would be y equal minus 3/2 x plus 3. If you can identify those things, is it positive or negative? What's the y-intercept? And what's the slope from a graph? You will have a better understanding of linear equations, because it takes two things to find equation of the line: the y-intercept and the slope. So if they ask you for equation of the line, I don't care if it's parallel, I don't care if it's perpendicular, I don't care if they give you 2 points. You got to figure out two things: what's the y-intercept, what's the slope. Okay, so that was a good one. So what time? Oh, time went fast. All right. So another question someone asked is, what's the equation of the line given 2 points? So we found the equation of the line given a graph. How do you find the equation of the line from 2 points? What? How do we do that? Here we go, right here. Let me see if we can do this real quick. Hold on. Let me make sure one is good. 43. 43, 43, 43, 43. Okay, 43, 41, 43 and 41 are good. 43 and 41 are good. 43 and 41 are good. 43 and 41. Oh, I don't like 43. That's easy. All right, we'll do it. Find the equation of a line that passes through 2, 1 and 0, -5. Okay, so let me answer this question first. Wendy asked the question, is Khan Academy and Schoology the same? No, Schoology is a site that I created, a GED math course on a free website called Schoology. It's a learning management system. And in that Schoology website, I use 2 websites, CK12 and Khan Academy, to practice. Okay, so any of these things that you see that we go over, you can use that site to practice. For example, let me show you real quick before we go to that question. So for example, I'm here, let's go back to the course. Say you want to practice finding slope. So you would come down here, go into practice and additional practice problems. There's linear equations, find the slope of the line, find the slope of y-intercept, equation of a line, word problem. So these are all things that you can find, or that you can do to practice. For example, find the slope and y-intercept. You can click on that, and it'll give you, of course, you can't see the scores, and it'll give you a quiz. It says use slope intercept. So here, right here, you have to identify that this is standard form. So in standard form is AX plus BY equals C. That means A is -7, B is +2, C is 8. This is the way I teach in my book, and that's the way I teach in my classes. This is the easy way to find the slope and y-intercept from standard form. To find the slope, we take the opposite of A and put it over B. So A is -7, the opposite of -7 is 7. B is 2, so the slope of this line is 7/2. The y-intercept is C over B. C is 8, B is 2, 8 over 2 is 4. So the y-intercept is 4. So just like previously, y equal 7/2 x plus 4. So if they asked you for the slope, it would be 7/2. If they ask you for the y-intercept, it'd be +4. And if they ask you for the equation of the line in slope-intercept form, it would be this. So these are the type of questions that I ask and you can practice on. Now, also, you can go to each section. Say, for example, you don't understand something. Let me show you something. Again, you can go under each section under the math lessons, and you can do the same thing. Find linear equations. And say you don't understand linear equations. What you can do is go to the online textbook. So it says online textbook lessons. When you click on linear equations, this is all the things you are expected to know on the GED. So for example, find the slope of a line, slope of a graph line. So if you don't know how to do it, you can go to the math lesson, click on that link, and we'll open up an online textbook. Watch this, an online textbook.
Yeah, I was on the site today. I didn't get this far.
And it will show you exactly. So again, here's a video. If it ever loads up. Okay, well, we'll come back to that. But here's how to do it. It explains to you to go rise over run. It gives you examples. Look, 2 examples, 3 examples, 4 examples. Here's another video. It explains it all in text. Okay, I want to know if I can practice. Here goes some practice. If you want to, you can view a quiz. So if you want to practice, additional practice, you can then practice. Now, so that was one of the questions. So again, if they give you a graph, find your 2 points. I'm gonna use my y-intercept right there. I'm gonna come down till I find a point right there. There you go. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Since I went down, my rise is -3. I went to the left, my run is -1. 2 negatives make a positive. My answer is a +3. So I go and take my answer. I put 3 and I check it. This has all the practice that you want. Now watch this. Oops, I didn't mean to clear it. Let me check it.
Ain't that positive? That's a positive slope. Oh, all right.
That's a slope problem. So the slope is 3. You check it and you see if you're right. So again, all this is here for you at no cost. Once you buy the ebook, you can use it, any of this as you want. So here's the textbooks. Here go to parallel. So if you don't know how to do it, I have something that you can teach yourself. Now, again, if you know how to do it and you just want to practice, again, and this is what Wendy was asking. There's 2 different practice things that I have. I have CK12, which is practice, and I have Khan Academy. Okay, whatever. If you want to use, I had one person text me today and say, I love CK12. I love it. The one thing about CK12 that I love is that it starts out with easy problems. And as you get them correct, it increases the difficulty. Okay, Khan Academy, I don't know what it does. I don't know what kind of algorithm it uses, but it just has a certain amount of questions it uses. But you can use Khan Academy or CK12, it doesn't matter. Okay, so you will go to each one. If you want to go Khan Academy, you click on online practice. If you want to graph points, if you want to find the slope from a graph, if you want to find a slope from 2 points, if you want to do a slope intercept intro, if you want to find a slope from equation, if you want to find the equation of a line from 2 points or from a graph. That's all the things we did today. So you could go, okay, I'm going to do slope from a graph. Let me make sure I know how to do that. You can open it up. And it'll have practice problems for you. Okay, it tells you. So here's the slope. So now, if you notice, they're not giving you the y-intercept. You can't really tell what that is. So again, you have to know, you have to pick points on whole numbers. So I'm gonna pick this one here. I'm gonna come down this line until I see a point that's on both whole numbers right there. Okay, I'm gonna start with my leftmost point, 1, 2. So I went up 2, that's +2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. +6, 2 over 6 is 1/3. Okay, then I put that answer in and I check it. 1 over 3, 1-3, and then I check it.
The 2, Mr. Tins.
It says not quite. Oh,
You put a 2 in your answer, not a 3.
2 instead of a 3.
Let's check it. There you go.
Okay.
So what I did was I used free resources on the internet that are free, and I put them in one place so you can practice anything you want. It doesn't matter. If you have your practice test, you can use your practice test to go under math lessons and find anything you're looking for, except inequalities. I didn't even realize it till somebody told me I don't have inequalities on here. That's the only thing I don't have. So I'm working on that now. Okay, so that's the practice that you can get free. Doesn't matter. So I would suggest, don't just jump in to your GED practice exam. What I would do is first, basics, decimals, fractions, ratio, proportions, percents. See if I get an 80 or above.
Okay.
Take your practice test, then that's going to tell you. So each section, I got a pre-test. Okay.
And when you say practice test, you mean on this site, not on the GED site.
I do have a practice test on this site too. So on this site, again, let me show you. I got free practice tests. Again, practice tests and additional problems. So there's 2 types of practice tests. So Layla, the one you took yesterday, and I'm gonna tell you, I hope you felt good about that. That means you're not that far away from taking our exam. But anyway, the feedback, if you take the one with the feedback, if you get it incorrect, it breaks it down.
Okay.
It tells you how to do it. Similar to actual tests, it's just like the actual test. You go through it just like the real exam. So you won't know whether it's right or wrong until you finish. Okay. So what you do is you take your practice test, you have your one-on-one sessions with me to find out where your areas of weaknesses are. You work on them, practice, knock them out, and then go take your exam. I mean, it's really just like that. So let me go back to what we were doing. And let's do this last problem before we end the night, 7:13. So this is the last problem I'm gonna do for the night. So this is a guaranteed problem on your exam. It's guaranteed. They're gonna give you 2 points and they're gonna ask you 2 things, either to find the slope or find the equation of the line. Guaranteed. They might ask you both, but it's guaranteed on every single GED exam. They're gonna give you 2 points. They're gonna ask you to find the slope, or they're gonna ask you to find the equation of the line. Okay, so since we don't have a lot of time left, I'm going to do this problem. Okay, first of all, we got 2 points. You identify what you know. This is my first point, so I'm gonna call this X1. I'm gonna call this Y1. Since this is my second point, I'm gonna call this X2. I'm gonna call this Y2. Does everybody understand that? Why I called it X1 and Y1 and X2 and Y2?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. If I had a third point, it would be X3 and Y3. Okay. So you should know that every point has X and Y. The reason why I called them 1 and 2 is so I could identify them. What's the first point? What's the second point? If you look on your formula sheet, they give you a formula to find the slope of a line given 2 points. And it's Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. They give it to you on the formula sheet. To me, if you were in my class, I would tell you I want you to do it by hand. Getting ready for this test, I want you to be able to use the calculator. So I want you to go ND, Y2 is minus 5. Minus Y1 is 1. Hit your down arrow, X2 is 0. Minus X1 is 2. Hit your right arrow, my slope is 3. Done. Stop playing. I know you're sitting there like, wow, you better stop kidding me, Mr. 10. It's that easy. So your slope is 3. So we know our slope is 3. So we know our equation. So this is one thing I want you to understand. Sometimes if you know a slope, you know your equation is going to start with y equal 3x. So when you look at your multiple choice, if it's only one that says y equal 3x, you're done. You pick that one. But let's go to the next step. Find the y-intercept. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to say y equal mx plus b. Let me move this calculator out the way. Y equal mx plus b. That's the most important linear equation form that you should know. Slope intercept form. Watch this. I'm going to pick this point right here. 0. I'm going to pick 2 and 1. I'm going to pick 2 and 1. I'm going to pick the first point. The reason why I'm not picking the second point, because what you should know already, this is the y-intercept. How do I know? My x is 0. So I already know my y-intercept is -5. I already know it, because anytime for an ordered pair, if x is 0, the y value is your y-intercept. But what I want to show you is how you would do it mathematically. So y is 1, m is 3, my x is 2 plus b. So I'm gonna have to move it over here. So I got 1 equal 6 plus b. To get b by itself, I need to subtract 6 from both sides. And I get -5 equal to 6's cancel equal b. So I know my y-intercept. I know my slope is 3, so my equation is y equal 3x minus 5. Now, that's how you do it algebraically. What I'm about to show you now is how you do it in the calculator in 15 seconds. Listen to me. Listen to what I'm telling you. We took 2 points. We used the formula from the formula sheet. We found our slope. Then we took a point and we plugged it in to get our y-intercept. Then we had to take our slope and our y-intercept to get our equation in line. It's going to take you 5 to 6 minutes to do this problem. What I'm showing you is if you go through this ebook, I'm going to show you quickly how to do this problem in 15 seconds. Watch this, 2, 1, and 0, 5. Watch this. Let me clear the screen so we can do it, so I can actually show you. Because these are the things I'm trying, the harder problems in this, on this test, you can do in this calculator quickly. So my 2 points, I forgot the 2 points that already. Was it 2 and -1 and 2 and 1 and 0 and 5? Watch this. So, oops, let me put it back. Watch this. I'm gonna go to data. Oops, I gotta clear my data out. Let me clear everything out first. Hold on. So we can have right from start. Watch this. I'm gonna go to data. Data tells me L1. What's gonna go in my first column? My x's. So if I look at my x's, my x values are 2 and 0. Okay, so I'm gonna go to my calculator. I'm gonna hit 2, enter, 0, enter. My 2 x's. Then I'm gonna grab my y's. My y's are 1 and -5. So I'm gonna go to my second column by hitting the right arrow. And what did I say? -1 and 5. What did I say? I forgot that quick. Oh, 1 and -5. I'm sorry. 1 and -5. So 1, enter, -5, enter. All you got to learn how to do is how to put the 2 points in your calculator. Watch this. You're gonna sit here in amazement. 15 seconds. Second, data. I'm using 2 variables because I got x and y. Calculate, enter. And I'm looking for a lowercase a and a lowercase b. Watch this. Lowercase a and the lowercase b. Look at that. The first one is my slope. The second value is my y-intercept. The calculator did all the work. All we got to know is how to put it in the equation. Y equal 3x minus 5. I'm done. 15 seconds. I'm confident I'm passing this exam.
And do you have something on Schoolology, or is it in your book for the calculator?
So in the book, I detail step by step how to do this.
Okay.
Step by step. And then I give you practice in the book, but then also on the Schoology site is where you practice. Because what I want you to be able to do is, and this is what I tell most of my students, Liliana told us last week, Patrick told us last week, they both finished within an hour. The exam is 2 hours long. They finished the exam in 1 hour, and then they went back and revisited the ones they skipped. But they finished the exam in half the time. This is my advice to you. Easy, medium, hard. If you think it's difficult, it's going to take you too long, flag it for review and skip it. Finish the exam first, then come back to the difficult problems. But I'm telling you, one of the problems you're going to see is either find the slope or find the equation from 2 points. You can do it in your calculator in 15 seconds.
Yeah, this is definitely on the test. I took it.
Oh, you can't say that because you can't tell what's on the test. But this type of problem is definitely on the test.
Oh yeah, this type of problem.
Listen, so that's what you have to understand. The problems that I'm going over in these sessions and in my YouTube videos and in the book are questions you are guaranteed to see. You will see them. It's now whether what version of the test. No, you will always have the slope of a line. Always from 2 points. And then they're going to give you graphs and they're going to tell you what's the equation of this line. Always. You're going to have whether it's find the equation of a parallel perpendicular line. Always. You're going to have the area or perimeter of a rectangle. Always. You're going to have the area or circumference of a circle. Always. You're going to have a scale problem or a ratio and proportion problem. Always. Like these are problems. You're going to have algebraic expression. Always. You're going to have is something a function or evaluating the function. Always. It's no doubt. So if you are solid in those areas that are guaranteed on the exam and you only need half, that's why my success rate is so high. Because I'm telling you what to focus on. Telling you, you're going to see it. So now it's almost 7:30. I went over again, like I always do. So let me clear the screen. Are there any questions before we leave this evening?
Just because it's my first time doing your class. So I will tell you, Liliana said basically her calculator did her whole test. And so I think that's awesome. So I obviously need to really brush up on that. If it's someone who's just trying to pass, not necessarily use it for college or something like that, what are the main areas in which you think someone needs to focus on?
Algebra.
I know you kind of just went over that, but.
Algebra is 55% of the exam.
Okay.
You need a 58% to pass. 58% is algebra. So on those individual things I said, those are guaranteed to be on your exam. Okay, but if you notice, everything is algebra. Even area and perimeter is algebra. If you have a variable for unknown, that's algebra. So when you talk about the perimeter, 2L plus 2W, that's algebra. When you talk about area of a circle, pi r squared, r is your radius, that's algebra.
Algebra.
So again, when we do our one-on-one, when you're ready to take your test, when you do your one-on-one, I'll take your practice, take your most recent practice test, whether it's GED ready or if you take it online with me on my Schoology site, and we go through that and we find your weaknesses and we make sure your weaknesses are no longer weaknesses. And we make sure I show you how to use the calculator so you can go practice for that 2, 3, 4 days, 5 days, that week before you take your exam so you be ready. What I'm saying is most people who use my ebook, most people take the test after doing the ebook and come to class usually finish in an hour. I had one person finish in 40 minutes.
Yeah, I wish I would have knew about Mr. Tinsley a little early on because I would have been past.
For sure, because the way you teach is clicking a lot. Not to talk down anyone, but everyone teaches differently. And like I said, this is just my first class, and I passed the other 3 subjects in 24 hours, no studying. And math is what has really been my Achilles heel. And I've been at this for like 9 months, and I'm still only getting like a 142.
Oh, you about to pass now? Oh, you about?
Yeah, you don't worry. You're about to pass now. Don't even worry. You don't need to go anywhere.
I'm so over it.
You don't need to worry. Listen, because why is I'll identify those areas. Like for example, the first 5. Okay, you got to know what's the first 5. So a lot of teachers say, don't worry about the first 5. Let me tell you something. I've been a math teacher for my entire life. I tutor from the elementary level into collegiate level to calculus. What I'm telling you is you want to make sure the easy problems are in your bag. Because why? Your self-esteem and your confidence feels, it makes you feel much better when you're getting them right. The problem is, ask most people who did not pass the test. Oh, let me stop recording for right now. Hold on, let me stop recording.